This episode begins with a flashback of Phi, where we get to know that she is one of the most brilliant students of her age. She can be seen enjoying drinks and partying with her friends, while two ladies nearby look at her with jealousy. On the other hand, Phi's boyfriend, Asger, is also present there and is keeping an eye on her. After the party, Phi and Asger return home. On the way, she tickles him, and because of the distraction, a devastating accident occurs. Following this, Phi is at the hospital, severely injured. One of the doctors approaches her and informs that her pelvis has been damaged and that she will never be able to bear kids. Furthermore, the doctor also tells her that Asger died in the accident and she is lucky to be alive. The scene then shifts to the present, where Phi is trying to study the virus inside Rasmus to cure him. She tells Simon that the virus is mutating itself to different forms, and that she is not able to track the transformation. Simon also witnesses the virus mutation under a microscope and becomes surprised. Phi mentions that the virus gets more dangerous after it mutates, and suggests they can use Rasmus to map the virus and get ahead of the mutation. Simone then asks Phi if she can take Rasmus out of the locked room to another, a bit more comfortable one. Phi agrees, but just then, she starts feeling uncomfortable and throws up. Following this, Simone takes Rasmus to a back room and assures him that she and Phi are working to their very potential to find a cure for him. When Simone leaves and closes the door, Rasmus cleverly puts a book on the way and blocks the door from being locked. He then escapes from the room and walks around the facility. In the next scene, Martin takes Simone to a rooftop date, and the two enjoy a quality time. While the two are talking about love, Patrick arrives there and requests Martin to come with him. Soon, he brings Martin to the secret room and shows him all the advanced equipment he found. He tries to display to Martin how the gun works, but unfortunately, the battery power of the gun runs out and it fails to start. Meanwhile, inside Apollin's headquarters, Kira approaches a man named Dennis, kept in isolation by the strangers. It seems like she knows the man very well and informs him about their base being discovered by Apollon. Here, it is revealed that Kira and Dennis are linked to the group who previously worked against Apollon. She urges him to return to the base and destroy all the evidence they have down there, including the video cards, weapons, and other equipment. As Dennis is locked up, she deliberately injures him and takes him out of the confinement, pretending that she is going to take him to the clinic. Next, Jean can be seen planting some crops to make Lee happy. While the two are talking about staying together, they notice a box landing near them. On clicking the box's button, they get a holographic message from Sten, suggesting they hand over Rasmus to the Apollon and get the capsule removed from their body. Sten also threatens to kill them if they do not submit Rasmus within the next 24 hours. Wasting no time, Jean and Lee show the holographic message to the rest of the group and ask Simone about how dangerous Rasmus is to them. Fearing for her brother, Simone lies to them, mentioning that Rasmus is of no danger and that he knows how to control the virus within him. Meanwhile, because of the threat by Apollon, Jean approaches Lee and suggests they run away from the place and start a life of their own. Hearing this, Lee belittles Jean and his idea of leaving the group. She tells him that they should stay together with the group and help each other out. On the other hand, Rasmus sneaks around the place and visits Sarah. He requests her to reveal what he did that day during the operation. Rasmus also mentions that he wants to know more about the virus and control its effects. At first, Sarah plays with him and refuses to help. But later, when Rasmus mentions that he had been locked in a basement for 6 years, she understands his pain and agrees to help him. In the following scene, we see Dennis being brought to a secret entrance of the base by Kira. She orders him to invade the base and burn all the evidence and equipment there before Apollon finds out about it. Inside, Simone is running various tests on the blood samples of Rasmus, but she fails to find any clues. Meanwhile, Martin approaches her and inquires about why she is working alone. He also asks about Phi's whereabouts. Simone replies that she has very less time and also mentions that she cannot find Phi since the morning. Elsewhere, Phi can be seen in the bathroom, becoming happy after she finds out that she has finally become pregnant. Later, Patrick shows Martin the advanced electromagnetic gun that he found inside the secret room. After displaying how it works, Patrick returns to the room to get its battery changed. Unbeknownst to him, Dennis has already arrived there and is searching for the video cards, evidence, and the gun. He puts the video cards inside his bag and prepares to leave, but just then, he gets noticed by Patrick. Dennis also spots him and tries to run away but gets caught. A fight ensues between them and Dennis succeeds to get the gun and change its battery. As he is about to shoot Patrick, he manages to get to the other side of a metal barrier and plays a high-pitched disturbing sound to Dennis, making him suffer and fall to the floor. Because of the irritating noise, Patrick also falls unconscious on the floor. In the next scene, Fi has returned to the lab and she asks Simone to help her. Together they use Rasmus' blood sample and inject it to a mouse. Surprisingly, the mouse suffers at first but soon starts dissipating the virus, just like Rasmus. Seeing this, Simone suggests to Fi that they get out of the room and save themselves. Elsewhere, Rasmus walks out to the yard with Sarah and tries to display his powers to her. Unfortunately, Jean spots him while he is dissipating the virus and calls everyone to witness it. Soon, the whole group except Patrick arrives there and gets frightened to see Rasmus's condition. They also get angry at Simone for lying about Rasmus' condition and the fact that he released the virus and killed all the scientists. Following this, Fi takes Sarah to her sterilized room and others also walk away from there. After that, Martin converses with Fi, and when she mentions that she is unable to cure Rasmus, he decides to hand over Rasmus to Apollon. This devastates Lee and she tells Jean that she is ready to leave the place with him. On the other hand, Simone again starts testing the blood samples alone in the lab, hoping that she can find some clues to cure Rasmus. Right then, Martin arrives there and locks her inside, so that she does not stop them from handing Rasmus to Apollon. While the team is planning the extradition, Sarah visits Rasmus and informs him of Martin and others planning to hand him over to Apollon. Together, they run away from the place into the woods, without informing anyone. In the following scene, as Simone is about to head into the woods to search for her brother, Martin tells her that he will also join her. Despite Simone refusing his help, Martin and Fi join her, and they begin their journey to find Rasmus and Sarah. Meanwhile, Rasmus is enraged at Simone as he assumes she planned to turn him to Apollon. Because of the rage, he starts releasing the virus and unknowingly transfers it to a tree that he is touching. Sarah mentions that she wants to go to Bakken, and the two continue their journey. On the other hand, Patrick gains consciousness after the disturbing high-pitched sound and notices Dennis dying on the other side. However, he fails to open the metal barrier and becomes locked inside. Later, he uses a crowbar to hold the metal barrier open and slides through it to the other side. Wasting no time, he checks Dennis' bag and finds a series of video cards inside. The scene then shifts to Simone, who notices a trail of black virus on the trees and throughout the path and decides to follow it. Elsewhere, Rasmus and Sarah arrive at the nearby town where Sarah suggests they enter a broken makeup studio and do some makeup before approaching an amusement park in Bakken. While Sarah puts the makeup on Rasmus, they suddenly spot some strangers patrolling the area and hide themselves. Meanwhile, Martin, Fi and Simone also can be seen keeping an eye on the strangers. Rasmus and Sarah somehow manage to escape from the back door of the studio without getting spotted. After some time, Fi spots some black marks and the group arrives at the makeup studio, confirming that Rasmus and Sarah were there. Leaving the ladies in the studio, Martin goes to check the back door but unfortunately gets caught by Klaus at gunpoint. After this, Klaus brings Martin back to the studio and ties everyone's hands and legs. He then threatens to kill them if they don't hand over the boy to him and help Apollon. Martin tries to comply and informs him that they are searching for the boy and will soon hand him over to Apollon. Hearing this, Klaus unties Martin and joins him to find the boy, leaving the girls in the studio. In the next scene, Patrick finds a video recorder and plays the video cards he found inside Dennis' bag. There, he watches a series of videos where a group of people are using the advanced weapons to remove the capsules placed by Apollon in their body. Elsewhere, Sarah feels difficulty in breathing after walking a fair distance, and because of this, Rasmus decides to take rest in a cottage nearby. Meanwhile, Simone tells Fi that she wants to help Rasmus and be by his side. Seeing Simone desperate to save her brother, Fi pushes a broken mirror towards her and asks her to use it to cut the ropes. Back at the base, the strangers invade the place and Lee hears them. She immediately runs to Jean and tells him everything about the situation. Luckily, they find Patrick and he takes them to the same room, barred by a metal barrier. The strangers arrive there but cannot get to the other side and harm them. Patrick then asks Lee and Jean to close their ears and turns on the same disturbing high-pitched sound that he did with Dennis. The sound is so unbearable that the strangers fall to the floor and die soon after. In the next scene, Rasmus and Sarah arrive at the amusement park in Bakken and start roaming around the place. Suddenly, Rasmus hears Simone shouting his name and suggests to Sarah that they run away from there. However, Sarah refuses as she wants to climb the roller coaster to witness the view from top. With Simone's constant shouting, Klaus finds her and points a gun at her. Fortunately, Fi arrives there and points another gun at Klaus and when he is distracted, Martin snatches the rifle from him and shoots him to death. Meanwhile, after reaching the top, Sarah becomes emotional and tells Rasmus that her whole life, she has been locked inside a room. Because of this, she knows that she cannot survive in the open world. She then requests Rasmus to kiss her as she wants to feel the emotion before she dies. When Rasmus refuses to do so, Sarah climbs to the railing of the roller coaster and prepares to jump. Seeing this, Rasmus stops her and tells her that he too likes her and wants to kiss her. He also assures her that once the virus gets out of his body, he will definitely love her the way she wants. While the two are conversing, Simone, Fi and Martin arrive there and ask them to climb down. As soon as Rasmus and Sarah get down from the roller coaster, Kira arrives there and threatens the group to hand over Rasmus to her. After the group disobeys her orders, she grabs Sarah and threatens to kill her if Rasmus does not surrender himself. Seeing this, Rasmus becomes enraged, and with his emotions rising, the virus inside his body starts to dissipate. This terrifies Kira and she immediately runs away to save her life. Later at night, the group decides to spend their night in the woods and light a bonfire. Fi tells Simone that she wants to help her find a cure for Rasmus as it is the only choice she has. After that, Simone approaches Martin and tells him that she cannot take their relationship any further. This enraged him and he walks away from there. The next morning, Simone can be seen sitting beside Rasmus and telling him that he is the only one she cares about and that they need to stick together till the end. In the last scene, Martin arrives at the base and Patrick shows the video clips. In the clips, they notice some people talking about a place which can help them take out the capsule from their body. Seeing this, an angry Martin tells Patrick that they have to find the place on their own and not care about anyone else. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit that like button to help our channel grow. Turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching.